From the field to the studio to your eyes and ears, boys, real quick. It's Victory Monday. Come on. Sorry for your eardrums.
Sorry,
Victory
mic turned off.
completely went out. Victory Monday, the 816 hour. We are back sitting down, talking Chiefs football. Got the dub yesterday, I guess not last night, on the road versus the Broncos. But Carter, Key, how are you boys doing today?
Absolutely awesome. Got a nice large victory coffee this morning. I'm feeling it.
Key, have we got something? Have we got a victory?
I haven't got anything started yet. I need to start something. I don't know what.
What's the wait?
I don't know. I don't know, man. We need to get something going.
We got to figure it out. We'll figure it out. We'll get it. But shoot, boys, jump right into it.
Yeah, Kansas City, like you said, 34-28 dub for their 14th straight win over Denver. After, it's almost been 24 hours since the win. How do we feel? It was kind of a weird win. Kansas City goes up 27-0 and then only wins by 6. After you kind of let it settle for a little bit, how do we feel about it? Bryson, if you want to go first, then we can go Carter.
I feel good in the aspect of there's no easy wins in the NFL, but for the Chiefs to jump out to that 27-0 lead at one point, and I'll get into it whenever we talk later in the pod. But it just felt like a weird game, like you said. They get the big lead, and they don't play from behind, but they kind of just play, we'll hold on to the lead. And I don't know. At times, the offense looks a little stagnant. Secondary question marks, those are brighter than ever. But I feel good. I mean, it's always good to get a dub in the NFL. Keep pace with Buffalo for that 1 seed. So,
yeah,
maybe
a win is always awesome to have. Ugly wins are still wins. It all counts the same. But
winning solves a lot of problems.
How do you feel about the game, Key?
I was it didn't feel like we won yesterday. That's how I was feeling last night. But after I got to sit on it a little bit, I do feel better. Like you both said, a win's a win. And we keep pace with Buffalo, like Bryson said. We were up 27-0. And then, you have Denver going on a 28-6 run or 28-7 run. It's just it's kind of hard to look at, but at the same time, Mahomes made some bad throws that forced the defense into some bad situations. So it's kind of a messy game to look at. But I think you just take the win and just move on to next week.
That's big. I mean, 100%. It's not like Denver's a bad team. A lot of teams or a lot of analysts were talking that Denver was going to run this division at one point. I feel like the question marks for the Denver team isn't on the offensive side of the ball. Whether their offense looked good or not, it definitely did yesterday against the Chiefs. That defense has always been the core part of the Broncos, I feel like. That's the part people talk about. So for the Chiefs to not struggle against their defense, but at times hit lulls, Mahomes threw the 3 interceptions. I mean, just get that out of the way. It happens. So for the Chiefs to still get the dub, I agree. I mean, big.
Yeah. But like you said, you mentioned the defense really having some question marks. There's been a lot of talk about Steve Spagnuolo. How much do you trust on a scale from 1 to 10 with Spags being the leader of that defense?
I don't think it's much trusting Spags. It is trusting the players on the field. And I hate to say it because I love the Chiefs. I mean, obviously, none of us are going to sit here and just dog on Chiefs players because we're all 3 Chiefs fans. They're all professional athletes, the best of the best. So, I mean, but man, whenever Jerry Jeudy out here scoring 3 touchdowns and all 3 just with ease, I don't know. I love Spags. I love the blitz packages he works up. I love the trusting young corners, inexperienced corners, putting Joshua Williams or Justin Watson on Jalen Watson. I apologize. One-on-one on an island, showing that kind of trust in your rookies does show a lot. But that ability to adjust and show a little bit of help, safety help over the top is the thing that kind of gives me question marks.
Yeah, I agree. Bryson said it all. It's about trusting your young guys, they don't have a whole lot of experience. Kind of just, and we're in a situation where we're fighting for first place, but we're still locked into the playoffs pretty much. So you're not really worried about guys getting absolutely cooked and being burnt toast in the red zone, but
Dude, players are just getting strays from Carter now.
Golly, I was gonna say no remorse.
No names. Well, he left names out of it.
I was waiting for a name drop.
I was waiting for it. I was like, oh man, Carter, analyst Carter coming in here. He's ready, But I think you both hit it right there. It is more about trusting the players than the play calls. Spags, usually the Chiefs have a great second half. I expected them, maybe double Judy. They did at some points, but then he gets that third touchdown. But I mean, you have McDuffie, you have Snead. Snead's always going to be in the slot. So it's kind of like, who do you put on him? It's just kind of a tough situation, but I mean, you kind of came in this year not knowing what to expect from the defense. So many first-year guys, whether that's rookies or just first year in the system. So it's just you just kind of roll with what you got. You just kind of got to figure it out as you go. Yeah. But let's see here. Does anyone have anything?
If you want to stay on that, my biggest negative from this game is the Chiefs secondary, and I'd love to just jump right into that. If y'all don't mind.
There you go.
So obviously the game was a lot closer than all of us probably thought it should have been. The Broncos statistically, I just want to put this in perspective. Before this game, they were averaging 13 points scored a game to that point. The 2017 0-16 Deshaun Kaiser led Cleveland Browns. They averaged 14.6 points a game. I just to put in perspective how bad the Broncos offense was. The Chiefs then gave up 28 to them. 28 in the NFL is not a lot, especially when you're the Kansas City Chiefs and you put up as many points as they do. But for the Chiefs defense to give up 28 points to how bad of an offense the Broncos had been to that point. Yes, Mahomes threw the 3 interceptions. Yes, Jerry Jeudy scored the 3 touchdowns. But my biggest thing is the Chiefs don't have that guy. They have it a little bit in Trent McDuffie. And you've seen flashes of, Spags can put him on an island. He can take their wide receiver out of a game. We saw it against Arizona a little bit. And then his return, he's played nothing but phenomenal football. But outside that, man, who's the cornerback to? Who steps up outside another big wide receiver? Joshua Williams has looked out of place, looks just, I don't want to say bad because I don't think he's looked bad, but he's looked rough at times.
Yeah, it's been a rough last few weeks.
I agree. Same with Jalen Watson. And the only thing I can think of is if the Bengals or Buffalo or whatever team comes in and you have to put Jalen Watson or Joshua Williams versus Gabe Davis or T. Higgins in the AFC Championship game, I'm going to have nightmares again. Like Gabe Davis is just looking forward to a Chiefs matchup where he can go up against Joshua Williams and do what he did to Mike Hughes from last season again. And I don't want it to happen. That's got to be my biggest negative after this game.
No, yeah. Someone's got to step up in that cornerback 2-3 role. Because when Watson and Williams are out there, I'm kind of like, man, I wish we had a vet, like Breland was kind of back in the day. Like back in the day, 2-3 years ago. Feels forever ago. The Super Bowl winning days. But during this 4-game stretch, and then you got the playoffs, someone is going to have to step up and be that, if it's Watson or Williams. Carter, did you have a negative? I know Russian just kind of hit on his. Did you have a big negative you wanted to hit on?
My biggest negative, it's kind of not from, it kind of includes the Broncos game, but the last 3 games, the Chiefs have ranked 20th in the league in red zone touchdown percentage. Right now, in the whole year, we're ranked 5th. But in the last 3 games, we're ranked 20th. So I think we're sputtering in the red zone. We need to figure that out soon. before. I'm glad we're doing it now before we get into the playoffs, but need to figure it out before the games that matter start coming up.
I'll quickly.
No, yeah, I totally agree. Let me hit on something. I'll let you hit on something.
All good.
Last 3 games in the fourth quarter, guess how many points the Chiefs have scored?
I'm going to say 0 just because you brought it up. I don't know.
12.
6.
Wow.
2 field goals. Not good. So like Carter was saying, in the red zone, it's just Chiefs look rough in the red zone. I don't know if that's what Bryson was going to bring up, but they are missing some guys that are supposed to come back. Is that what you were going to say, or did you have a different point?
No, I was just going to ask, do you think Carter mentioned this at work today? We were sitting there talking the game. Do you think the Chiefs offense is getting a little bit more vanilla towards the end of the year? We're not seeing as many motions, flip passes, behind the back, trickery like the Chiefs are used to running. So maybe before, we saw at the beginning of the year, they came out and had the 8 games against playoff teams from the year prior, hardest schedule to open an NFL season. Now, second half, easiest schedule in the NFL to end the year. Are they kind of not showing their hand fully for a playoff run? Do you guys think?
No, it could definitely be that. I saw after yesterday, I kind of get on Twitter, you read everybody's opinions.
This man Keek tweets throughout the game. Every single time something happens, this man Keek is on Twitter talking.
I love it, bro. I have to.
Sometimes.
But I saw someone mentioning how, it's towards the end of the year, so maybe Reed, it's just kind of they're playing vanilla. And they're just kind of getting to the playoffs. And that's kind of like a cocky thing to say, I feel like. But you can't tell me it's not true. They're just kind of, let's stay healthy and get into this playoff run. Obviously, you don't want to be scoring 6 points in fourth quarters in the last 3 games or being 24th in red zone. But also, like I said, they're missing Kadarius Toney, McCole Hardman. Hardman has been great in the red zone, so maybe that has something to do with it. It could also be maybe they don't trust guys, so they have vanilla-like play calls. I also want to bring up another thing. Justin Watson is getting wide receiver 2 snaps. He's getting the second most receiver snaps. So little surprising there. Not over a guy like MBS who they, signed for multiple years. Do you guys trust the Chiefs wide receiver, kind of a young wide receiver core? You also got Juju, who's still 25 in his first year in the offense. You guys trust this wide receiver core? I know we hit on the defense, but now do you trust the wide receiver core to make, be good enough for a playoff run?
I think Andy Reid's closed his bag of tricks. I think he's closed it up, and I think he's saving it for the playoffs until we face hard teams that I guess playoff teams. But
hey, get disrespectful with it, Carter. Just sell it how it is. Houston Texans are good. No, I'm just playing. I'm sorry.
Well,
you're not worried about the Texans?
I don't want to.
Hey, you just see what they
super
really
hot because they have beat
Real
one
good.
team this year. I don't want to make 2. So,
do you guys have a positive for the game?
Whoa!
In our receivers.
There it is.
I am so confident in our guys.
We got
Travis Kelce, we got Juju, we got MVS, we got Sky Moore, and then we get McCole and Kadarius Toney back before the playoffs. I'm not worried whatsoever. Our offense is going to go insane.
I'm confident in the aspect of whenever we've seen the Chiefs offense at 100%, we've seen guys like Kadarius, McCole, Kelce on the field. I think that's a brand new Chiefs offense because whenever you take out McCole and Kadarius, in my opinion, probably the 2 fastest options on the Chiefs offense, the field shrinks a little bit. You don't get to expand it as much. You don't get those end arounds kind of stretch the field lengthwise. So when you add those guys, it opens up more passing lanes for Travis Kelce. You're not forcing that pass in there. Second interception by Josie Jewell. That one gets picked off. But I feel like having a fully healthy team going into the playoffs is something I'm more confident in than the wide receivers themselves, just in the aspect of how complementary they all play together with Mahomes at the helm.
No, yeah, I totally agree.
That felt so good. I won't lie. Just how But Key, how confident are you in the Chiefs wide receivers? I know big Juju guy, MVS. I know we've had our talks on him, but big Kadarius guy.
No, confident. I think they've shown, like we said, the offense has been kind of meh last few games. Past 2 weeks, I really don't know how to feel about the Chiefs. But we've had injuries. We've seen Sky Moore, step up. You've seen Kadarius Toney, had that. What was his second game in Kansas City? He was, scoring a touchdown. But then you got a guy like Travis Kelce, which is pretty much wide receiver one. But Juju has found his way in this offense. I mean, he's just playing the best ball of his career since probably his rookie year. MVS, is hit or miss, but he's going to be there for those big plays in the playoffs when you need them. I'm pretty confident in them. I think they've shown a lot this year.
I agree. Especially with just an off season with Mahomes. I mean, just been everyone's first year basically outside Kelce and McCole.
I mean, yeah, like we said, like a guy like Justin Watson's getting wide receiver 2 snaps, and I'm fully confident in him.
I like the story they told on Watson whenever they were saying that Mahomes invited him to the camp in Texas, and then they're throwing, and then he's on the phone. He's like, "Yo, get me this guy. Get me this guy." And now we're seeing him wide receiver 2 role for that Chiefs offense running those snaps. So that's cool to see.
No, I love Watson. Great hands. Like I feel like every time he gets the ball, he's always catching it. He's now the punt returner. Player of the game, who we got?
Ooh. We're not doing positive yet? Waiting for the biggest positive?
I just asked you your positive.
Yeah, and then we had to finish our take from last one. My biggest positive, real quick, before we jump to the MVP, Isaiah Pacheco and Jerick McKinnon. To me, thunder and lightning. These boys, Isaiah, he's the thunder, quick, loud. Like Keegan says, he runs angry at the ground. He's just pop, pop, pop. Jerick, he's high voltage. He's quick cuts, 7 passes caught for 112 yards and 2 touchdowns. Isaiah ran 13 times for 70 yards. I love the balance that they have between these two, getting Jerick involved in the pass catching while also running him. Jerick saw 6 rushes for 22 yards. Isaiah, the same thing, seeing 3 catches, 13 rush attempts. I love it. My only question is, where does Clyde Edwards-Helaire sit whenever he's healthy? Does he have a role in this offense?
I think he does what he just said. He sits.
Don't know. Okay. We're not going to act like Clyde's just not going to see the field, are we?
In the last few games, he wasn't seeing the field. He had 4 snaps last healthy game he had.
He doesn't reclaim his role whatsoever. I think he's got a very minimal. You come in when Jerick and Isaiah are both tired and need a break for a couple snaps.
No,
it hurts to say, but I think he's left a sour taste in the coaching staff's mouth. So
he's already got 4 receiving touchdowns on the year. I think they bring him in for some packages, maybe like in the red zone. It's going to be really hard for him to find a role, for sure.
Well, I'm going to go, guys. No, yeah, I agree. I hate to say it because
you're telling me I have a Clyde Edwards-Helaire jersey, man.
I bought a Le'Veon Bell jersey. I think you're okay. Let's calm down, Keith. Let's calm down, buddy. Held on to that for a good 5-week stint. No, yeah, it's hard just because, seeing the Chiefs draft him in the first round, being the first running back the Chiefs drafted in the first round since, golly, I can't even remember the last one. Kareem wasn't. So, yeah, none in recent memory. To see him kind of just lose that backfield, it hurts. It hurts. But that was my biggest positive. Chiefs running backs. Carter, Keith?
My biggest positive, Chiefs run game. I think they need to run it more, but with the snaps they're giving them, I think they're making it work. And these guys are going off. Like Bryson said, the thunder and lightning, these guys, Pacheco just grinds out yards. I love those 2 guys. It's a great duo.
Guy at work told me he runs like whenever Mario gets the star and he no,
yeah.
I
got you. Pacheco, when did he take over the role? Like week 7? He'll probably have 800 yards this year. That's crazy for not starting till, midway to the year. He only needs 52 rush yards in each of the last 4 games to get to that 800 mark. So I think that's where he gets to. But my biggest positive, that D-line bounced back 6 sacks this week. They got some pressure, was probably the biggest positive from that Chiefs defense. A lot of good happens when you get to the quarterback. Chiefs got 2 turnovers. I called for 3. We got 2. We got the take 6.
Yes,
McDuffie almost had his first career take. If he didn't have a visor, he probably would have caught it with his face.
It would have just stuck right there.
Oh, it probably. Hey, that thing came in hot.
It did. I don't think he wasn't. He couldn't have been ready for it. I mean, like, how do you?
He turned around and just
right there happens.
I guess that's why he plays defense, like Carter would say.
That is true. But yeah, whenever you're able to disrupt the pass rusher, I know the Broncos' offensive line was something I talked about in the pregame show. So exciting to see Sack Nation come alive. It kind of didn't really go away by any means, but kind of those games with 1 sack, game with 1.5 sacks. It's just like, okay, like, can we? And then 6 sacks. I love it. I love it.
Karlaftis probably had his best game as a pro, in my opinion. He was playing really, really well.
I really thought he was going to get that 2.5 that I predicted. I really did.
He almost did. Did he end up with 1?
Only 1. I thought they were going to give him that half whenever I want to say it was him and Chris Jones on Russell Wilson, but I think they counted him across the line of scrimmage for a rush.
He was getting after him. I mean, he was.
I love it.
If he just had some speed to him, he would probably have like 7 sacks on the year.
Yeah, but see, and then you start looking at that and you're like, oh, give him more speed. And then you got Frank Clark, and then you don't got enough power and you're just getting pushed out of every play. Sorry to throw shade at Frank. Now I feel like Carter at the beginning of the pod throwing straight bullets.
Hey,
but
I didn't throw any names out there.
Oh, but we all know who you're talking about, Carter. Come on.
I don't know who you're talking about.
I do. You're talking about a couple guys, in my opinion. But yeah, I think that's the problem with the Chiefs D-line. I won't go into it too much, but I think they got all power guys and no speed guys. They had 1 or 2 speed guys doing a lot of great things, but I guess they are like top 6 in sacks, so can't complain too much.
True.
But player of the game, who we got?
Who? Just because you mentioned him a little bit earlier, Harrison Butker is my player of the game. He had the miss from 58 last week. He went 2 for 2, hitting kicks from 35 and 45, hit on every extra point as well. The first couple drives, the Chiefs looked good. They got stopped. They kind of stalled out. We've seen it in the past, the Chiefs offense. You know, they drive the first drive of the game and then not 3 and out, obviously, but ended up stalling out, got to settle for 3. Just knowing Harrison's there to convert that 3 points, to put points on the board, to leave drives with points, especially in the playoffs, that's going to be big. So just getting him back to being MVP Harrison Butker, that guy, you know, like, so I got to go Harrison.
I played the game. Willie Gay, 5 total tackles and that 47-yard pick 6. That was amazing. Loved it. Willie Gay is becoming one of those great linebackers. Him and Nick Bolton, that duo is going to go down as probably one of the best ever. Mark my words, hear it now.
Time out. Chiefs history, NFL history.
History.
I love to hear. I would love to see Willie get that pick 6.
Hey, Carter, I hate to tell you, but there's a guy.
No.
6 that used to roam the Chiefs linebacking core. That man, no disrespect to Nick Bolton or Willie Gay, but there will never be another 5'6" like Ben Neiman on that Chiefs team. Derek Johnson. They name dropped Ben Neiman in the game yesterday.
Oh my God. Yeah,
what is this? It's like Ben Neiman. Okay. I think he's still a free agent, I want to say.
Probably. He's terrible.
Whoa.
Wow.
We're not throwing T words around. Key.
Yeah, my bad.
This guy.
I shouldn't have said it. It's just a known thing.
Who's your player of the game? Who's your player of the game?
Easily.
Let's go with the easy pick. Every game.
Jerick McKinnon. 112 receiving yards and 2 tutties.
That's big.
And he got me 32 fantasy points.
I agree. Next week, does anyone have anything from the Chiefs Broncos game? Anything else you want to hit on next week?
Next week. What's one thing you guys want Kansas City to get better at versus Houston this coming week? One thing to improve on.
If they give up another 200, 300-yard passer to Davis Mills, I will cry. If the Chiefs
320 to Denver.
If the Chiefs give up more than, I don't even know, because I'm thinking about their wide receiver core, I'm thinking about their quarterback play, and I'm just thinking this is a game the Chiefs should just dominate. But I also thought that about the Broncos game. 14?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I wrote down I'm completely ready for Dameon Pierce to look like Derrick Henry Jr. against the Chiefs. So I'm going to say the Chiefs run defense. I want them to get better. Dameon Pierce had a great game against a great run defense in the Cowboys yesterday. So I want the run defense to look great against a rookie running back. Let's go.
I want them to not forget that they can run the ball. That they have two great running backs. And they both have proven on a week-to-week basis that they're great. I don't know how to explain it, but run the ball more. Don't let Patty in these last four games throw 50, 40, 45 plus passes every game. Run the ball.
Pad the MVP stats, Carter. Get out of here with that.
No, run the ball.
We're worried about awards, not playoff right now. I'm just playing.
Let Patty run the ball. Just run the ball.
There it is. Keeg, where do you want him to get better at?
I had two things. Also, run the ball more. I love that Carter brought that up. They tend to forget. Andy forgets that you can run the ball, especially in the red zone. I know for Carter's sake, he wants to feed Pacheco more. I have 20-plus carries for Pacheco, and also get off the field on third down for the defense. I feel like at times Denver was just killing us on third down. I mean, at the start of the game, they would have 3rd and 12, and they would just easily get it. That can't happen. Latavius Murray, what was it, 3rd and 8, and then he powers for whatever he did. He stood up. I don't even know, for 8 more yards, whatever it was. I mean, that just can't happen. Got to get off the field. One last thing.
Looking like C-Mac out there.
It's just, Russell Wilson was their leading rusher, though. I think they was like 105 rushing yards. So kind of started off not too great, but like I said, that second half Chiefs defense, and, it wakes up. Hey, but the win's the win. Win is a win.
That's all it is.
Does anyone have anything else that they want to hit on? Back at it next week. Chiefs to go on the road, a noon game versus Houston.
Sir.
I would say I hope for a nice, stress-free game, but we learned yesterday that does not happen. So
hit us up.
Unreal.
TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, anywhere and everywhere you listen to your podcast, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, Pandora. I'm looking for suggestions this week on what to add.
iTunes. Just throw that in there.
Yeah, iTunes. We're everywhere, anywhere. You look on your ceiling. We're there. I mean, we're everywhere. See, look, he's on the ceiling. But Bryson, nice shirt you got on.
Hey, thank you, Carter. Big Cartel / the 816 hour. I didn't put my hat on that has the pin on, of course. I wore that to work. But got shirts up, got pins up there, all the Christmas needs. Make sure you get your orders in so we can get you guys all the stuff before Christmas. Hopefully get some new stuff up soon. Continue to push out content for you guys. Boys, absolutely love doing this pod with you. Absolutely love sitting down talking ball. Always a little bit better after a Chiefs dub. You can feel the positive energy in here. And all I know is next week, if we sit down on a Chiefs recap and they win, and Keeg doesn't have a Victory Monday thing he does, I don't know what we're doing, folks. I
just cancel the pod. Just cancel it. Just cancel it.
Wow. Carter, did you hear that?
I heard that.
It's all jokes. But boys, right. Anyone got anything else?
Like and subscribe. Turn on notifications so you never miss an episode.
Never
can't have that happening.
Share with a friend. Go throw 816 hour. Throw it on your social medias. We're growing, boys. The ceiling is the roof, as Michael Jordan would say. Are we out?
We're out.
Peace.